It's the Positively Petland Show. It's the Positively Petland Show.
We are still
Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on 800 KXIC. You can always go to petlandiowacity.com, petlandiowacity.com. Ron, good to see you. How are you holding up with these temperatures?
loving it. It's too, I had somebody visit us from the south, and so came up here, visited our
like
store.
Hills? Kelowna?
Yeah.
Wellman?
No, Georgia.
What? Okay, the true south. Okay.
And he came up here and he said, and it was right at the beginning of winter. We went into our first cold snap and stuff. And he said, gosh, how do you do this? And I go, if you think about it.
Talking about the weather.
Yeah, the weather. Yeah, because we were sitting in a restaurant and the restaurant was actually cold. We kept our jackets on. And he goes, how do you do this? And I go, well, if you think about it, all we're doing is going from a car to a store to a house it's just that like 30 seconds that we're outside and we get grumbly.
Yeah, your life is obviously more privileged than anybody that's working outside all day long as far as...
Okay, then you're dressed for the part.
Then you are.
Because I love the outdoors. I cross-country ski. I'm usually first tracks out there. So I love the outdoors and I love the cold. But yeah, if you're not dressed for the weather. And that's what his point was. He did bring up extra clothes and he goes, this is all I've got for winter stuff.
It's kind of funny during that cold stretch, as soon as we got to about 4 or 5 degrees above zero, it almost seemed warm.
It did. I went outside and I was like,
oh, I don't need a hat. I don't need gloves. And it's still 4 dang degrees out. And how do boxers hold up with the weather?
Jerry's favorite dog. All right, so we're going to review the boxer.
My favorite of all time is
the Great Dane.
Yes. Oh. So boxer
is second.
It's up there.
All right. So right now I'm going to petlandiowacity.com under breed. There's a little icon on the front up at the top of the webpage. Click on that, and then it's all alphabetical. There are a ton of breeds that we have on our website, so you can learn really quickly about different breeds. And then I always say, is that the right breed for you? Once you've narrowed your search down a little bit, come into Petland. That's why do we have all the different variety? Because 70% of the people that walk into our store and say, I want this certain breed, walk out with something different because it was a better match. And so do some research on the front end, petlandiowacity.com. Go under breed and look through them and just kind of randomly go, I think some of the first questions are, do I want a big breed or a small breed? That's kind of one of those questions when you come into our store. We're going to go, just realize a big breed is more. It's more work. It's bigger. It's going to need more space. It's going to eat more food. It's going to cost more money at the veterinarian. Oh, I didn't think of that. And that's what we add to the equation when you come on in. And then you just get to see the personalities and stuff like that of the dogs. So the boxer on the website is, we'll get there. Jerry, be ready. It's coming your way.
I'm looking at it right now.
The well-conditioned middleweight athlete of dogdom. That's a good part of a sentence right there. The boxer is a powerful dog with an intelligent and alert expression. While they are instinctive guardians, the boxer loves to be with his people. I like that, with his people. This personality has allowed them to succeed as couriers during wartime and as seeing eye dogs for the blind. Appearing in both fawn and brindle colors, the boxer currently ranks as one of the most popular dogs in the United States, according to the AKC. History. Developed in... Where were they developed in?
It was developed in Munich, Germany in the 19th century. Now extinct Bullbizer, a dog of the Mastiff descent. The Bulldogs were brought to Great Britain then.
Wow, that was good. I like that. You added to this whole thing. That is ding, 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 ding. Germany in 19th century boxers were originally used for dog fighting. I don't know if it's going to get into. Let's go. Fighting and to run down and hold large games such as wild boar and bison until the hunter could arrive. The breed is known for standing up on its hind legs and batting at its opponent. That's why they call it the boxer. Appearing to box with its front paws. Imported to America after World War I, they began to grow in popularity in the late 1930s. For those of you that are just tuning into the show for the first time, it mentioned fighting dogs. If you didn't know it, United States was big into fighting dogs in the past, and obviously we've changed our opinion of that. But at one time, we were really big in that. So a lot of breeds were bred for fighting, and it's kind of interesting how times change on that. The temperament. So now here's another thing. So wait, why would I want to get a dog that was designed for fighting? Well, they've bred it in the opposite way ever since then. So now they've bred that boxer. While it might look the same, the temperament is totally different because they took the nice ones and bred it with the nice ones, and they come up with a nicer breed as a result. One of the breed's most notable characteristics is its desire for human affection. That is something they've bred into it, especially from children. The boxer requires little grooming but needs daily exercise. The boxer gets along great with children, often protecting them from outside threats. They are also very intelligent, therefore easy to train and housebreak. Let's see, they came into the AKC in 1904. That's when the Boxer Kennel Group got ratified into AKC. They range in size from 21 inches to 25 inches at the shoulder. We learned about that. They're large game hunters, guardians, and companion dogs. Environment, apartment is okay, but we did learn you got to get them out. They got to go run and jog and all that kind of stuff. And they thrive in moderate climates. So they're not a big furry dog. This is a shedding dog, but the fur is so short that it's not going to be as noticeable as another large breed dog, like a golden retriever. Exercise, lots of activity needed, moderate to extended daily exercise. So yards are usually a pretty good thing. Grooming is easy because of that short hair, occasional brushing. If you use a Furminator on the boxer, you're going to find less shedding around the house. So that is the boxer. Is it the right breed for you, Jerry?
I bet it would be. Do you have any at the store?
I do. I have one or two right now. Really wonderful. The counselors that we have, pet counselors that get the puppies out for you and all that, have been commenting on, this is the nicest dog ever, kind of a thing. So really good demeanor and all that kind of stuff. So come on in and play with our boxers.
Let's talk about food.
Well, no, we got to talk about an ounce of prevention first.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Unless you wanted to just truncate this whole thing. Let's talk.
I'm charging through it.
Let's do 5 minutes on an ounce of prevention. If you're a regular listener, you're gonna hear some repetition, but there's things that happen in our store, and I think about it and I go, okay, no matter how much we talk about it, there still are a lot of people that need some education. So yesterday, I'm talking with a customer. And, they want to get they've picked out the dog. It was a little guy, and they were all about it and all that kind of stuff. And we were talking about supplies and tools and things like that you need. And they gave a little, not a pushback, but they just said, oh, I already have a kennel at home. And so I asked the question, well, tell me more about that kennel that you have at home. And they pointed at a carrier, a carrying case, the hard plastic shell kind of thing. Yeah, the hard plastic shell thing that you would put in your car and, kind of thing, or go to the veterinarian in. And I go, that is more for travel and everything. It is actually horrible for potty training. And a lot of customers over the years have said, well, I'm going to try it. And then they come in the next day. What happens is it's not a tool that's good for it. They'll poop and pee at the back of it and then come towards you and say, yeah, I didn't do anything in here. And so it's maybe a little even more difficult to clean and all that kind of stuff. So I told her, and I even, came around and I said, well, here, let's look at what a kennel looks like that you would have in your home that is the correct one. So this is one of those ounce of preventions, because if you continued on using your kitchen, a lot of people will put a baby gate up and use their kitchen or their bathroom or their laundry room or their traveling carrier. I'm not coming up with the right term for that. Carrying
like it's a travel crate.
Yeah, there's the name for it, and it's not coming out. Carrier. I think that maybe is just it. And so they use those, and if you would have spent a little more money, you would have prevented a remodel on your kitchen, a remodel on the laundry room, a remodel, you won't have all that damage to the floor and to the cabinets and, you know, the biting and all that, let alone the urine that's all over the place. All of those, including the carrier, are not good for potty training, because the key component in a kennel that was designed for it is a movable wall. So this is the ounce of prevention. Buy the kennel that has the movable wall, and now you can tighten it up so that if you're going to speak their language now, so warning, if they poop or pee, they have to sit in it. That's uncomfortable. Then they will go, ooh, that I thought it was convenient to poop or pee in here, but it wasn't. Now I don't like it at all, and I'm going to not do that in the future. That's the power of the kennel, and this is the way they do it in nature as well. So if you're like right now going, that's just not right, you made them sit in there, poop or pee. I get it. I don't like it either. I'm not like saying I like it, but I'm saying that's how they learn in the wild. When they're in their tiny den with their mom, the mom kicks them out and says, do it outside. I'm not cleaning up after you anymore. And so that's how they learn. So getting a kennel with that movable wall is so important. An ounce of prevention, you're going to spend 30 to $100 on this thing. But now you're going to prevent that remodel and all the expense that you're going to put into that, or even more so, the frustration for the length of the life of this dog, because it never really got properly potty trained and has an accident, not too often, about every other day or every week, somewhere around. That's still aggravating to me. And if you could prevent that, wouldn't you love your dog even more right now? So I'm getting choked up. Having a kennel with that movable wall and using it appropriately is an ounce of prevention that will prevent a lot of savings of money, and then it will also prevent that frustration. So that's 1 ounce of prevention. All right, here's the next one. How much time do I got? Like maybe 3 more minutes?
Sure.
Well, wait, like not total though.
No.
Just for this segment.
Yes.
Okay. See, this is how we figure things out. All right, let's just do.
I started the timer. You're at 4.5 minutes right now.
All right, let's just talk about barking then. An ounce of prevention on barking prevents a lifetime of aggravation. So I have a case in point, and it's me. We brought our little puppy, little Susie. She was so precious, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And we loved her up and, you know, all that kind of stuff, gave her hugs. A lot of people, when they take their puppies home, the little dog starts barking. And as a little puppy, it's cute. It's kind of like a little crying baby. When you see him for the first time, you're like, oh, that's just so precious, you know. And then they grow up, and then it becomes louder and louder and more aggravating because they learn what's going to get them attention and all that. Well, a little puppy is going to do the same thing. So it's cute on the front end. You pick them up and you give them a little scratch and you just love them up. Well, you've just promoted them to bark if they were barking when you picked them up. So an ounce of prevention here. Don't pick up a barking little puppy because now you're promoting it. What did we do with little Susie? About 6 months into our adventure, Susie was still quiet. How did we get her to start barking? Well, my kids were playing with little Susie and playing and loving it, but she barked a little bit. And they went, that was different. And so they then started doing things to promote her to bark. And really quickly, Susie said, this is a game. I'm playing. I'm in. I'm going to bark. And so she was barking. When I came home that evening and kind of like for that week, I went, hey, how come Susie's all of a sudden barking a lot? And they said, oh, well, we were just playing with her and she does that when we play. I go, could you not do that? Because you now have promoted her to bark. To this day, Susie is more of a barking dog, and we're still working on training. We right now, our favorite tool that we use is an ultrasonic sound bark collar. And so it doesn't do any shocking or anything. And I'm not even saying that those are bad, but for Susie, that's all it takes. If she barks, a high, pitch sound that she doesn't like comes
60
out.
seconds.
And so we're still with this. Susie's 10 years old. So if you can prevent it on the front end, it's so much easier on the back end. And so an ounce of prevention is worth a lot of money and a lot of frustration prevention. So that is an ounce of prevention.
Now can I say it? Let's talk about food.
Okay, let's talk about food. So Royal Canin is a brand that we have had in our store since it's been open, and it's slowly, actually more recently, quickly growing. Royal Canin, behind the scenes, what you didn't know happened is they went to what's called a direct ship. They used to use suppliers and stuff like that. Now they direct ship to stores rather than working through suppliers. I think they were trying to save money and stuff like that. What happened was a lot of stores dropped them. It was too difficult. We at Petland in Iowa City continued to carry them and actually have expanded the line. We figured out how to make it easy for us, and now you guys are benefiting from it. Something that Royal Canin has done from the beginning is they've always done breed specific foods. That's something they started a long, long, long time ago. I remember a friend had a Yorkie. This is before we had a Petland, and I remember him boasting about Royal Canin has this food just for my Yorkie, and I love it, and the dog loves it, and all that kind of stuff. And so know that that's one of the qualities of Royal Canin, where they craft their formulas for breed specifics. So they look into the nutritional aspects of a large breed versus a small breed, but then also a Yorkie versus a Chihuahua. So two small breeds. How do they chew the food differently? So they'll make the kibble a different shape and size as a result from one breed to another. The kibble that I like the most is for the English Bulldog. It is this crazy shape, and it's just they've watched it and designed it for that English Bulldog to crunch away and be most beneficial for that English Bulldog. Hard kibble is your number one dental preventative for your dog and stuff like that. So they go all along the tailored for every health need, and they write the individual health of every cat and dog is as unique as they are. However, this health needs are often characteristics of size, breed, and lifestyle. If you go to their website, you'll discover how they've made it. The calcium is higher for this breed as opposed to another breed. Fats are higher, proteins are lower, and all that kind of stuff. So they've really tailored it differently for every breed. And we talked about cat and dog in here. Then when you get into the nutritional aspects of it, they're above average on quality. So when you go to, and we've said this a lot of times, when you go to the grocery store, if you might stand in front of it and go, how do they make that dog food so much cheaper in here? When you go to the grocery store, know that they're competing against other brands based on price. That's how grocery stores work. You do a little bit of education and you realize, wait, there is a difference in quality. So one of the biggest issues in quality that they just throw out the door is, where is the protein source coming from for that food? In the grocery stores, they're getting most of that protein from plant-based products, where if you go to a more expensive food, because it is more expensive, they go to a meat-based protein. So Royal Canin does a nice job of going more towards that meat-based protein in their products, as well as a really well-balanced meal. They've been doing this for a long time. They do research and all that kind of stuff. It's one of the few brands that still do research on dog foods to say what is the best of the best for your breed. So that's Royal Canin. How am I doing on time, Jerry?
We got about 60 seconds, so give us the final pitch on how we find out more about you.
We are Petland of Iowa City, located at the Marketplace Mall, located across from Lucky's Market, Joanne Fabrics, and the movie theater. Come on and play. The weather is beautiful in Petland, and so even when you're like going, oh, it's freezing outside, just get in the car. 30 seconds to get in this car, and then when you pull up, 30 seconds to get in our store. You'll be all nice, warm, and cozy. Take advantage of our buy 10 get one free on all of our dog food that is very competitively priced, and you can't beat a $5 nail trim unless you got your puppy from us. Then it's free. So bring them on in, bring your vaccination schedule, and we'll get you all done up with no appointments necessary.
PetlandIowaCity.com. The beagle might be, or I'm sorry, the boxer might be the right puppy for you. The regal is the word I was looking for, and statuesque dogs are rave and have been for years. Boxers are cool.
That they are, Jerry.
PAWSitively Petland Show, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC. Be safe and warm, Ron.
You too.
Thanks.
Thanks.